Hello and welcome to Witchy Wellness Radio. I'm your host, Loren Cellentani, women's holistic health coach and fellow recovering perfectionist. This podcast was created to show you that your body is not in the way. It is actually leading your way. Hello and welcome to episode 9 of Witchy Wellness Radio. I'm your host, Loren Cellentani, and today we are going to be talking all about different kinds of cycles. And yes, that is going to mainly include your menstrual cycle if you're a woman, but how there's really almost a cycle for everything. And we'll talk about how cyclical nature and time, your menstrual cycle, the seasons, life itself, the moon, astrologically speaking, all these different cycles are teaching us how to live, how to listen, how to rest, and how to go forth. And two of the main lessons that I have so deeply taken away through almost finding refuge in these concepts of cycles. Number one is that you always can begin again. That nothing is going to last forever. There is one constant in this universe, in this reality, in this world, in this lifetime, and it is change, which is very scary, especially coming from a perfectionist background. I know that we all want to control, but I think when you can accept that you always can begin again or change your mind, that it doesn't always have to be the same way. I think there's a lot of power in that. Maybe you don't like to change your mind, and sometimes when you're forced with changes, even life changes like graduating, getting married, having a baby, possibly getting a divorce, parent dying, all these life changes that we really don't have that much control of. It's kind of an ending or a death of an old reality, and sometimes we do have to mourn that old reality in order to fully step into this new reality, this new self, whether you perceive it as good or bad, or if you actually willed this change to happen, or it's something that is happening in your reality. But the choice to begin again shows us that cycles itself, you go through birth, life, death, and rebirth. And with anything in life, your health and wellness, your career, relationships, they're all cyclical. And the second main takeaway before we jump into the meat and potatoes of what makes up cycles is that nowhere in nature does a flower bloom 365 all year long. That the innate wisdom of cycles teaches us how to rest, how to look inward, how to restore, and most importantly, just step out of our own way. Because when we can actually, our monkey brain, our ego, our worries, our anxieties, you know what I'm talking about here, what your head's probably full of all day. When we can step out of that state of being, that's when our bodies can heal. We get new ideas. Things just seem to flow to us. We are in supreme receivership. And I like to think of gratitude as that state of being, for being thankful internally for something that hasn't happened externally. But with the cyclical nature and forcing us, for better or for worse, to look inward and to slow down, it's hard to realize that and accept that. I don't like giving society as a blanket excuse, but I do think that we have different culturally or family learned values or beliefs that we internalize or maybe externalize, that we have to work hard, and that we have to work hard all the time. And everything is just an uphill battle. We give out trophies. We reward people who are always doing this, who are always literally on go, 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 push, 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 which is great. I love working hard and doing something that I love and spreading my light. I don't want you guys to take this the wrong way, but there's a time to push, to share, to reach outward, and there's a time to go inward. And when we can go inward, we can fully heal, ground ourselves, and course correct, most importantly, and just step out of our own ways. And I think we are stuck in such a solar or masculine society, which there's nothing wrong with masculinity, but there's a balance. There's a yin and yang to everything in life. We need to balance our play, our go time, our work with resting and going inward, the feminine. And I think they both have to equal each other out. And when we can do this, and when we understand how to utilize this tool, everything we want is downstream. You realize this is a very powerful moment, that you are constantly paddling upstream. And once you make that decision to put those paddles in your boat and just go with the flow, that moment that's where transformation happens. When we can go downstream, we realize that we can't control the stream, but we make decisions each moment to make us feel better and better, and soon those things compound. And using and utilizing the concepts of cyclical time and nature, we're able to kind of propel that boat down the way a little bit faster, or maybe a better way to say it is a little bit smoother of a ride to get to the end goal. Are you guys ready? Let's jump on in. So I wanted to preface the meat and potatoes or tofurkey part of this talk with my own kind of personal story this past month, because it always never ceases to amaze me what I feel called to teach and share is what I usually need to hear or work on in my own life. I have been utilizing this concept of paying attention to my body, especially during my menstrual cycle, and really honoring that I need to slow down, and that there's different parts of that cycle where I can be my more outgoing, like sharing love and light self, but then there's times to rest. And I would say for a few years now, during the first 1 to 2 days of my cycle, I will cancel all plans and literally mark it in my Google Calendar to rest and do nothing. And I allow myself to sleep in, to take naps, to do nothing, not even watch TV. I literally just mostly sleep during this time. And that has helped me so much, not only overcome my PMS symptoms, but also in terms of overall energy for the rest of the month, just by allowing myself to rest, to stay in, to not really leave my apartment for maybe 1 to 2 days. My energy levels the rest of the month are consistently high, and there's no peaks and valleys. I know my period's going to start because a day to 2 before my period, I am so exhausted and tired. I'll say, I don't know what's going on. I got enough sleep. What do I need to do? What foods do I need to change? Like every month I think this. I think I'm trying to health coach myself out of this possible adrenal fatigue. But no, it's really my body just prepping itself for the most physical and labor-intensive process that it does every month. So I've been doing this for a few years. And last month, many of you might know, I was honored to be able to go on a yoga teacher training trip to Belize. Beautiful, gorgeous. And it was such a soulful, impactful experience. I recommend if anybody wants to do teacher training, go somewhere to do it. That full immersion, it was life-changing. But while we were there, my monthly cycle, my moon cycle, started about a day or two into the trip. So the rest of the trip, I was fully on my period. And we're working out all day pretty much. We start off with a couple mile walk on the beach. We practice yoga, like actual yoga classes, twice a day. And the rest of the day, we're practicing teaching in small groups and switching out actually practicing yoga and teaching. So my body loves physical activity, and the entire trip I was just thriving, and I had so much energy while I was there. But I knew that this was not going to be good overall. So I get back home, and with any travel and trips like that, you do get a little tired. But for the rest of the month, I had trouble focusing. I was constantly tired. I felt very scattered-brained and not very grounded and centered, which I try to constantly practice things that will help me, like yoga and meditation, that helps me find my even keel. But last month, I, one, didn't want to do any of that, and two, it wasn't sticking. So I tried switching things up, but what came up last month for me, it was just like a continually month of like feeling like I was PMSing in terms emotionally wise and energetically. And I realized that just like my trip, I can't be working through and pushing that hard physically or mentally or emotionally all the time. And I need to look at certain areas of my life where I can step back. So for now, not long term, so I can fully immerse myself in other areas that are priorities. So with that said, personally and business-wise, last month, shit, for lack of a better term, kind of hit the fan, and it made me address these things that I've been putting aside, if I'll get to it one day, and realizing that after next episode, I'm going to take about a month or two break from Witchy Wellness Radio so I can, one, prep more stuff for you guys ahead of time, and two, fully dive into what I want to share and provide value and help all of you guys transform. And that's what I'm here to do, is enable you guys with inspiration and information for you guys to fully step in to your own coach, to your own power, your own light. And I get so busy in other things and producing this show, and I even took a break from social media this month because my body could not multitask. So back to the actual period part of this, or menstrual cycle. Before I practice this day or two of rest and really honoring my own body's cycles and inherent wisdom, I before was never able to nap. I always wanted to, but I never could fall asleep. I used to, from the age of, I started menstruating, which was I was a little earlier, like 10 or 11, I would get such bad cramps. I would physically throw up and get sick out of the immense pain. Not to mention all the digestive snafus. And I know all of you out there probably can raise your hand for some type of a PMS symptom. That you really do feel victim to your body, and we almost view this cycle as a bloody curse, pun intended. But really, it is such a deep, deep blessing. It teaches us, our feminine nature of cycles. And it now gets me excited. I literally, like I said before, I have it in my Google Calendar. It's there, y'all. It's marked in for resting and restoring and doing nothing. When we can do that for ourselves, that's where change and transformation happens. So jumping into the actual stages of the menstrual cycle, we start off with follicular, move on to ovulation or full moon for most women, then on to luteal, which is your PMS phase, and lastly, or maybe even you consider it first, menstruation, which is also new moon. And fun fact, if we did not have any artificial light, pretty much all women would sync up to menstruating during the new moon and ovulating during the full moon, which this also can be flipped. So for years, I was actually menstruating on the full moon and ovulating with the new moon. And it's interesting as you go through life and life changes happen to you personally, or it's interesting to see which one you're closer to. I've heard that women who bleed with the full moon are more of the teachers, the healers, women who are here or maybe going through the experience that they need to heal or teach. And women who, which is more typical, menstruate on the new moon are more the feminine, divine mother archetype. And while the other one are more the healers. So we'll start with the follicular stage, which is the first stage out of menstruation, and tying in all different cycles here so we all kind of understand how everything ties together. And it's just a different way of explaining something. And so hopefully with one of these areas of different kinds of cycles it will hit home. So follicular is also kind of considered the spring time, the spring season. And with the spring, what do? We plant seeds, or maybe we start to see the little sprouts. This is like new ideas, new projects, beginnings. This is a great time to try new things. And I like to think of that with new food, new working out, new morning routines. For me, I like to just move my body during this time and kind of shake stuff out. I like doing more cardio stuff rather than like heavy lifting or anything like that. So this is a great time to begin again. Like I said earlier, this is literally your birth during the follicular phase. And after the follicular phase, we move on to ovulation. And this is when you are on fire, girl. Your hormones, everything is just prime, optimized for cross-pollination. You are in full bloom. This is the summer season of the part of the cycle. This is when you wouldn't be surprised if a construction worker whistles at you, even though you're in your gym clothes. This is no matter what you look like, hormonally, energetically, every which way, you are in full bloom during this time. And with that, it's a great time for communication. You are able to articulate your ideas and your thoughts and your projects in a relatively easy manner, clear. This is a great time to have deep conversations with relationships, different projects at work, maybe launch a new product, anything that requires you to be on the top of your game. And this, like I mentioned before, is also typically most women ovulate during the full moon. And if you're anything like me, during the full moon, I can't sleep. I feel wired with energy. And that's only amplified if you're ovulating during this time as well. And then after ovulation, we move on to luteal, which is the PMS that people love so much. And this is the fall time of the year. Find a lot of wisdom in luteal and menstrual phases of this cycle because they're making us go more inward. And a lot of people don't do that in our culture today. And I like to call fall the annual PMS, where nature is literally showing us what we need to let go of by the shedding and falling of the leaves. And it lives up to its name. Things that we need to let go of, things that we haven't dealt with the rest of the year, the month, specifically for the menstrual cycle, come up during this time. Yes, you might think that you're just quote unquote being over emotional. It's the hormones that are making me do it. No, you, these are things that need to be heard, need to be listened to. There's actually a study done that women during this phase, during their luteal phase, actually have a higher percentage of perceiving and hearing negative comments, which I don't think is any surprise to anybody else. I think if you feel like you're being over emotional or over dramatic in any area of life, your health, anything that's coming up, really try to honor that and see what it's really telling you. Chances are you've just been pushing it down all month. And another thing with the luteal phase is that it feels so great to wrap things up during this time. Any projects, things that you started earlier in the month, this is a great time to get things to come to a close before you take your sacred few days of rest during your menstrual cycle. I find great joy of organizing things, like cleaning out my closet, that junk drawer that you've just been wanting to do forever. This is a perfect time. You will find it would be the greatest stress reliever in the world, I promise. And during luteal, towards the beginning, you have to just listen to your body. But I really find that weight training, heavy lifting, things that make me feel powerful and strong during the beginning, I love to do. And at the end, like I said, I sometimes feel the last 2 days before my period, I always convinced that there's something wrong with me. I have adrenal fatigue. I'm so tired. So either I will do some light yoga, maybe go for some walks, or maybe even just do nothing at all. You have to listen and leave that up to your body. And lastly, surprise, your period, menstruation, Aunt Flo, whatever you love to call her. And this is the winter. Everything is kind of dead during this time. And typically, most women menstruate during the new moon. So this is literally the death is another type of cycle during the life cycle. Time to dive into the abyss. And I've heard that energetically or spiritually, we are actually more connected to whatever you would like to say, the universe, your higher self during this time, that the veil is very thin. So all the stuff that came up earlier during the luteal phase, this is a great time to do a life audit, to dig deeper into what was coming up. Maybe something that you tried starting earlier this month. Is this working? Is it not working? Because during this time, you can be very critical in a good way. In a supportive way, that actually you won't take any shit. You see straight through whatever candy-coated something you're looking at. And this is a great time to course correct and plan for the month ahead. So as you can see, there is literally a cycle for everything that they all kind of line up. They're just a different way of saying it. And the reason why I wanted to have an episode semi all about periods and the menstrual cycle is to show you guys that, your body really is not in your way. It's leading your way, that it's through this cycle of menstruation, that it's reminding us to slow down, to listen, and to tune in what's brought to our forefront during PMS, during the luteal phase. It's this big, shiny fucking mirror that is saying, look at me, and address these things because, hello, this is your intuition. Your body is bringing these things up for you to heal, for you to course correct. So many people want to know what it sounds like, and sometimes it can sound like PMS. And when we actually learn to honor this, you will never feel so good and so in love with your body as a woman, because I know so many of us view this as a monthly curse. And it is not, my friends, it is a deeply embedded, wise intuition cycle. It's in our bones. It's in our DNA. How magical is it that our bodies automatically do this process every month? We don't have to tell it to do this. We don't set a timer, a reminder, or a Facebook event. That our bodies are literally showing us how to go with the flow, the ebb and flow of life, and how to fully utilize and get the most out of that. I don't want any of you to feel like you are a victim to your period or PMS. And I have put together on my website an ebook that it's 4 ways to PMS freedom. It's on my website, lorencellentani.com/subscribe. If you scroll down to the ebook section, it's there. All you have to do is put in your email and it's yours. And I created this ebook as more of like a health coaching or, what to do to possibly alleviate some of these PMS symptoms. Today we talked a lot about the cyclical nature and the wisdom, the knowledge of it all. But this actually is a more 4-step process that you can do this month. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to change anything. That will help you love your body, love your period, and alleviate some of those symptoms. So I would love for you guys to have this information to help you fully come into your bright and shiny self. And I'll link all of this in the show notes, but I've talked about her before, the wonderful, wise, beautiful Dr. Christian Northrup. She has written so many books, the forefront of women's health for so many years. I lovingly call it the Bible, women's bodies, women's wisdom. It is probably bigger than the Bible in all honesty. And it is just a wealth of information about your body as a woman and how to decipher what's really going on that your body's telling you. But another great resource is Elisa Vitti, and she has an app called My Flow, which is what I use to track my own flow or my own menstrual cycle. And she also has a book called Women Code, which I'll also link in the show notes, which is very helpful, and it's literally all to do about your period, what to eat, how to exercise, everything I kind of talked about, but in a lot greater detail and a ton of research to back all that up. My goal with all of this and providing the show, the free ebook, the free meditations that I share with you all is to inspire you to change, that to use this information, utilize it to allow yourself to trust that you are taken care of. The universe will provide, the universe will heal, and to let go and stop constantly paddling upstream. And I know I'm just drilling this joke, but to go with the flow. We live in such a society that we're just going all the time, which is very solar. We need to learn how to balance a solar masculine with some divine feminine and moon magic and learn to rest. And even though we might want to rest, I know it's hard to actually slow down, to tune in and turn off. So with this being said, I want to provide more value for you guys to help you truly step into your full potential. And at the end of this episode, in just a few short seconds, I will have a free meditation to help you rest and restore. So thank you all so much for listening. And if you guys like the show, please share this. You can share it through the podcast app, share on my website with somebody that you feel like it might resonate with, that might be going through a hard time, that they know that how things are currently working in their life and in their health are just not acceptable anymore, and they don't know where to go to next. Let this be a beacon for light for you and for all your friends and family. So with so much deep gratitude, thank you all for listening and sharing on this wonderful journey with me. If you haven't already, go over to Instagram, follow me at Loren Cellentani, or over on Facebook, leave a review on iTunes. Any which way, I would just love to hear from you guys, what you guys have to think, any ideas for upcoming podcasts or what you're going through. I'm here to support you all through your own journeys through this wonderful lifetime. So thank you all so much. And without further ado, here is your free meditation to fully relax and restore. Hello, and welcome to Let's Meditate, a series by me, Loren Cellentani. And today we will be guided through a meditation to fully rest and restore ourselves. We will get you primed and ready for the most restful sleep yet. To begin, let's get comfortable. You've got two options. Either lay down ready to nod off to sleep, or sit against a wall with your legs straight up. Sometimes we get a bad rep for sleep, for taking a break. We feel we always have to push, and effort our way to the top. But what if rest was the answer? What if it was okay to sleep in or go to bed early and still get the same amount done and be even happier for it? Today, we'll flip those scripts. We'll start to crave going to sleep earlier and allowing our bodies to relax and restore to our fullest potential. Now, if you're anything like me, right now you're probably making a list of to-dos for tomorrow. Go ahead and let those float through. But in the next 5 seconds, those are just going to melt away. And this time is for you. This time is for rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Don't worry, those will be there tomorrow. And if a thought comes popping in, that's fine. Let it say hi and drift away. To continue, we are going to enter a deep, relaxed state. I'd like you to close your eyes and breathe in and out. In and out. In and out. Now imagine yourself walking down a beautiful staircase. Maybe it looks like a princess's castle, or maybe you're walking down beautiful steps on the coastline of Greece. Whatever this is for you, I want you to take a nice look around. What do you see? What do you smell? What can you feel? And to continue, I'm going to count down from 10. And as I do so, you'll start walking down those beautiful stairs. And by the end, we will be in complete, total body relaxation. 10. Down, down, down. Deeper, deeper, deeper. 9. Down, down, down. Deeper, deeper, deeper. 8. Down, down, down. Deeper, deeper, deeper. 7, down, 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 deeper, deeper, deeper. 6, down, 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 deeper, deeper, deeper. 5, down, 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 deeper, deeper, deeper. 4, down, 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 deeper, deeper, deeper. 3, down, 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 deeper, deeper, deeper. 2, down, 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 deeper, deeper, deeper. 1, down, 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 deeper, deeper, deeper. Now I'm going to leave you here for just a few moments to soak this relaxed state all up in every single cell in your entire body. And just keep breathing in and out. In and out. I count to 10, you'll wake back up, get back into bed, and easily doze right off to sleep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10.